Well, it's that time of year again. Can smell the honeysuckle, means it's time to plant some cotton. We're trying to plant cotton anyway.
It hasn't gone off so well yet. I know the boys are fixing the tractors.
Big wash. I don't feel like breaking my neck.
The chicken litter guy, back rear tire hit a stump and flipped the thing over on the side. Got issues with the transmission on this tractor. It's not wanting to shift ranges. It's cotton 2021 is officially started. We have cotton seed going in the ground.
So I'm full and it's still got about 3 passes left. Matt keeps following me in the drone. Something following me. So far so good. Yep, we're rolling. That's all that matters. Only 400 and something to go.
Alright, well, we just got the first 5 bags of our first variety run out, so time to switch varieties, load the planter back up. We got about 31 acres planted so far. Kelly just got done spraying this 56-acre farm, and Zach's not too far behind her. So what we're switching to is Phytogen 360W3FE. This variety is a different manufacturer. It's also an enlist variety, meaning that it's resistant to 2,4-D, whereas the Delta Pine variety I was planting earlier, it was an extend variety, and it's resistant to dicamba, which we don't spray on our farm in crop, but we're putting this variety on our farms that most likely to have pigweed problems, so it gives us another tool in the toolbox in order to control these pigweeds, because I don't have a problem spraying enlist over my crops. I'm not going to spray extend over my crops because that stuff has a tendency to pick up and move to neighboring fields, potentially damaging them. So we're going to practice good stewardship and just spray the enlist and put these on our pigweed farms. Well, I don't feel that these varieties are quite high as yielding as the Delta Pine varieties. They're still good, really good varieties, they just don't yield quite as well, but being able to control these pigweeds, especially on the more distant farms that I'm going to, is more important to me at this time. So let's get this seed in the box and get back to planting. All right, things are coming on along slowly but surely. We're just about done with this 56-acre farm and fixing to make one of the, I guess, the most difficult moves we have, driving through normally a busy part of Jackson and some tight roads. Zach and Kelly are already over there on the next farm, on the Baker farm. Actually, Kelly just texted me she's got done with it and moving on to the 3rd farm, and Zach's not too far behind her, so I'm running behind. I told them just to check up for a minute, let me get caught up, because this cover crop is drying down real quickly in this sun and heat. It's starting to get a little rubbery and harder to cut through. One of the big reasons I'm running behind while I've had to fill up a seed twice here, and been doing some diagnosing here on the tractor, on the transmission. I tried recalibrating it multiple times, and calibrating hadn't done anything. It's still doing the same old, but we have narrowed it down, the circumstances on when it happens. So this CVT, I believe, has 3 different ranges with infinite speeds in each range, and it's wanting to jerk and hesitate like it's doing right now. You probably can't see it through the camera, but it's hesitating, and when it's trying to shift ranges, the only way to get past it is to really try to accelerate fast, and it kind of forces it to go on to the next range. So what's most likely causing that is something is wrong with the synchronizers. It's got synchronizers on each range, and been on the phone with the tech, you know, doing some diagnostics, and it's looking like there's a good chance it's probably inside the transmission, something mechanical, not electrical, not a sensor, not something that's going to be easy, cheap, or quick to fix. But you know what? The wheels are still turning, so we're rolling on with it. If it causes worse damage, it causes worse damage, but we have no other option. We got to get this cotton planted. Can't plant with another tractor because, well, the other tractor that could plant, I need it on the roller crimper because I need guidance on both tractors to follow these strips that I killed. And the only other tractor we got remotely big enough to pull this planter is the old 4440, and it doesn't have enough hydraulics to operate the planter. So I just called my H&R rep, asking him about possibility of renting a tractor and what it would cost. He said right now they don't have anything even available to rent. I was like, man, you better come on and find and go out and trade for something. Don't force me to go rent a green tractor, which I don't know if Tennessee Tractors got a tractor to rent either. Right now, I'm gonna keep every option open because this is something that's going to take a good while to fix. The mechanic said if all of the parts are available, best case scenario, you're looking at a week. But rarely do best case scenarios come true. There's going to be some hiccups. There's going to be certain part that we're going to need that's going to be back ordered, not going to be available, and then my tractor is cut in half with the transmission out of it, sitting in the shop waiting, no telling how long, because right now, I mean, just like I'm sure y'all seen either at work or the stores or whatever, stuff, there's certain things that's not in plentiful supply. It can be very difficult to get. And it's no different in agriculture or agricultural parts. And stuff you wouldn't normally expect is gotten hard to get. I don't know. All I know is the wheels on this tractor are still turning, and we're probably going to run them till the wheels stop turning. I just don't have a lot of options right now, unfortunately. Oh, and in other news, my chicken litter guy got his truck turned back over, and he said it really wasn't all that hard. They got a track hoe out there and finally got it hooked right, and the thing came right back over, which is good news. Also, doesn't look like that mechanically anything is damaged. It's primarily cosmetic on the platform to get in and out of the cab. But he hadn't tried to fire the engine up. It was sitting on the side for probably 12 to 14 hours, and a lot of fluids drained in places they weren't meant to go. So we're going to leave it sitting upright overnight, try and let things flow back to where they're supposed to be before he tries to fire it back up. But first he's got to talk to insurance to see if they'll even let him try to run the machine, or if they're going to want to take a look at it first. We don't want anything that might compromise him getting a settlement from the insurance company on it. There's still a lot of things up in there, but our wheel's still turning and seat's still going in the ground.
All right, so we've got in just under 5 hours. We are 75 acres in, and we are now on the dreaded Jackson, Madison County farm that is always so fun to get to. And we're now experiencing the most unwanted yet extensive no-till versus cover crop trial we're gonna have of the year. I don't know how well you can make it out, but this is the farm where the cotter pin on the drill broke last fall, and we didn't realize it for about 35 acres. And this whole farm actually got planted with our 20-foot drill. 10 acres got planted, 10 acres nothing was coming out. So it's gonna wind up with 20-foot gaps, just like this one. The problem is it doesn't run with the road. The fancy new spot sprayer that we just got through fixing up is probably going to have a lot of time put in just on this farm. And it took all of 2 years to get the pigweeds under control to where it was one here, one there, which consisted of 2 solid summers of me and Matt, or me, Matt and Kelly, or me, Matt, Kelly, and Carter, walking every individual row of this farm and chopping pigweeds. Not the most enjoyable job in Tennessee in the middle of July, early August, when highs are like 97, 98, heat index of 110. Not very fun. So we were really looking forward to having a cotton crop over here now that we had got all of the cover crops maintained and the pigweeds under control, and now we are more than likely back at step number 1. But anyways, it's going to be interesting to see just exactly where all they pop up, and hopefully it's not too bad.
So I got problems. I can't go faster than 6 miles an hour, and if I do, I'm putting out way too much pressure. I'm supposed to be putting out 75 psi, and if I go 8.5 miles an hour, which Matt said I should be doing, I'm putting out 134. So Zach is out here trying to check the strainers, and then if that's not the problem, I'm gonna have him ride with me and see if we can figure it out, because this is, I mean, I'm having to go slower and slower, so should be interesting.
Oh my goodness, what is that I see behind me? Is that dust? It's been so long since I've seen it, I'm not 100% sure. Need somebody to verify it for me. Alright, over here you can kind of see those strips I sprayed a little bit better. We still got a pretty thick cover crop, but the herbicide worked a little bit better over here. I'm just not quite sure what happened on the last farm, why the herbicide didn't work quite as well. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, because what we got there is strips of cover crop and the no cover crop. And what happened is last fall during corn harvest, I got one of my retired landlords, he's actually drilling the cover crop for me. And I've got a 20-foot John Deere 1560 drill that he uses. It's kind of hard to spot, especially if you don't know to look for it, but you can see the meters turning and putting out seed. Well, he missed it for several acres here and had a roll pin break on one of the shafts. The drill wasn't planting cover crop on half the drill, so when you're making your passes back and forth, both sides were together. So we got roughly 20 feet going across this field, alternating cover crop, non-cover crop, cover crop, non-cover crop. Normally that wouldn't be a big problem, but this is probably our most problematic field with pigweeds in it, and we really need the cover crop to help suppress the pigweeds from coming up. So anyway, what we got here is about a 7-acre replicated test plot. We're going to get a good idea of how much suppression these cover crops do with pigweeds, because going across the field I got 20 feet good cover, then 20 feet of nothing but a few weeds out here. It's going to be interesting come summertime, see how many pigweeds we have germinate in the non-cover crop strips as opposed to the cover crop strips. Hopefully it's not too awful many, because I don't want to, this is our farthest farm from the shop. I mean, we got to travel a good ways just to keep an eye on it. Plus, we do have to come out here and spray or chop or whatever. It's something I'm not going to look forward to all summer long. But this is the 4th year I've actually farmed this. I actually didn't think it was that bad because when I looked at the farm before I decided to rent it, it was grown up in grass and stuff because it hadn't been farmed in a couple of years. So I'm thinking, well, you know, all this stuff out competed with pigweeds. I didn't see any pigweeds out there. Like, we're not going to have any problem with pigweeds. And then I planted cotton over here the first year. And oh my gosh, I spent several days throughout the summer over here on my four-wheeler and the spot sprayer riding up and down the roads. It was a mess. So, but hopefully, you know, the last 3 years we've done a real good job of controlling them. Hopefully the seed bank is down a whole lot lower and won't have near the problems with them as we had in the past. Oh, and if any of y'all happened to watch the national TV show that we were on a couple years ago, The American Farm on the History Channel, if you remember, I think it was either the 4th or 5th episode, you know, we had problems with four-wheeler riders and everything tearing their crops up. Anyway, this is the farm that was actually filmed on, and those were the gates that we put up to, you know, block them and try and keep access from, block access from the field from them. But so far, ever since we did that, we haven't had any problem with any kids on ATVs out here tearing their crops up. Just for the long-term follower of our farm, it's just a quick update on that. All right, well, we just got done with the Baker farm here. We'll head down the road a few miles back towards home. Got the Hart farm to do. Got about 31 acres on there, and then we got another 3 acres on another farm on the way back to the shop where we had corn on the majority of the farm, but the landlords don't want corn planted in front of their house. They say it blocks the wind and makes it real hot during the summer. So we got about 3 acres there we're going to put cotton on. And we'll be back in Crockett County, so it's about almost 7 o'clock. I'd like to get those 2 farms done, get moved back to the shop, and get everything serviced and ready to go first thing in the morning before I go home tonight. So, well, that's the plan anyway, so let's get on down the road. But first, I gotta traverse this really sketchy field entrance out into a small, narrow road in the midst of a subdivision. The joys of city farming. Oh me, what a drive. Where everybody was out cruising on this nice night. I promise you, if I ever get rich off YouTube, I'm gonna buy about 2,500 acres all in one block. That way I don't ever have to get a piece of farm equipment out on the road again. I can farm everything right there. But at that point, that's a pretty big if. A man can dream though, can't he? Well, that's how much we gotten done since I last talked with you. Apparently we're having some kind of a bad reaction with the chemicals we're spraying. We're spraying generic paraquat and brake and then a surfactant, and we've had this happen before, but sometimes chemicals don't like each other, and that's what happened. It created a mess of our strainers, coated it with almost like a fibrous stuff. I mean, just plugged every hole in the strainers. So we just spent the last, I don't know, what, hour and a half or so cleaning the main strainers out. We didn't get to the tip strainers. We just swapped tips to other ones that we had on there. So we still got to do that tonight when we get done, but I just wanted to get this planting done and get everything back to the shop. While I was cleaning the strainers, I remember something I read on Ag Talk last year sometime. We never have done it, but heard about the trick of putting in Dawn dishwashing soap in with your tank mix. Really, it's supposed to help that problem when you have, you know, chemicals that don't like each other and keeps your strainers clean and stuff. So I just had Kelly go buy out Dollar General of every Dawn bottle that they had. So we're gonna give it a try. Hopefully we don't have this problem again, because it's no fun cleaning a bunch of strainers. We got about 30 more acres to go before we get back to the shop and get everything serviced, ready to go for tomorrow.
Well, my GoPro battery died about 2.5 hours ago, and I'm gonna get you up to date. My strainers were all clogged, so I had to go get all these vehicles, come back, go to Dollar General and go get Dawn soap because the brake and the combination of the paraquat is stopping up everything. So now I have to take all strainers off in the dark and clean them tonight. So that's gonna be fun. And it's already about 9:15 or so. We didn't get as much as we wanted to get done, but it is what it is. Welcome to farming. All right, I got every strainer and every tip off from this 100-foot boom all the way across. Zach just got in and he is fueling up and servicing his tractor and the roller crimper. I'm gonna have to get some help pulling the big strainers off, and then we're going to soak them overnight and scrub them, and hopefully tomorrow morning we'll be ready to go. At least that's my hope, right? Matt is still in the field, and I don't know, he'll be around here some sooner or later, but I love the long nights, right? All free underwear, people.
Well, we are done for the night. We just got done with the last of the cotton I wanted to get done today. It's 11 o'clock. We're headed back to the shop. Kelly and Zach have been back there probably an hour or so. Hopefully they've been making some pretty good progress on getting all those tip strainers cleaned out. I reckon I'm going to get the planter greased and fueled up, ready to go first thing in the morning. And I'm going to make trails for my bed. It's been a long day. Hopefully tomorrow will go a little bit smoother than today did. But anyway, I'll see you back here in the morning.